Hi, my name's Mike, or Mikey, whichever one you prefer. I'm 39 years old, turning 40 this year in July. I'm struggling, to put it simply. I have worked from being 16 all the way up until when I think I was 37 or maybe 38, and I was struggling really bad with mental health issues, things that I didn't even realise that I had, and it left me in a position where I couldn't work and couldn't provide for my family. And it's been really difficult. I managed to find a new job after, how long was it? From October 2023 till just this Monday, April the 1st, 2025. I've not been working for. I suffer with something called fibromyalgia. I have cirrhosis of the liver, which will tell you I've got a past. I have something called portal hypertension, which doesn't really affect me day to day. I think it's more of a blood pressure issue, and I have type 2 diabetes with really bad neuropathy, so pins and needles in my hands and my feet and my legs. Just feels like they can't stop. They're constantly on the go. So yeah, a little bit of background for you. I'm a vehicle technician. I've worked for major manufacturers like Toyota, Audi, to mention a few. My experience with Toyota was approximately 15 years. I became Master Tech accredited with Toyota, and then I did about 7 or 8 years between two different dealerships at Audi, and I worked my way up to accredited diagnostic technician with Audi. I have, like I say, since been off work with mental health issues. So I was diagnosed with emotionally unstable personality disorder, something called dissociative identity disorder, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, and it's not so much now. I used to have self-harm and suicidal issues. Can't remember what they call it now. I think it's like ideation or something like that, and also, I think these aren't like the main illness, but the things that everybody suffers with, which is depression and anxiety. But my depression can get like chemical, if you like. It can get really bad. I have had hundreds of mental health breakdowns. I used to drink. It got really bad at one point. I was drinking up to 1 litre of gin a day. If I couldn't stomach that, I was drinking Prosecco. I could drink up to 4 or 5 bottles of Prosecco, or 3 or 4 bottles of wine. I was addicted to prescription pain medicine, so codeine-based prescription medication. So the codeine, wow, that got way out of hand. you know, on a daily, I was sort of dropping, you know, I don't know, 40 tablets a day. But when I got off work, when I was off work, I was medically signed off, and obviously, because you lose the structure of your day, it just absolutely got crazy. At one point, it only lasted for a short period, but I was on 80 tablets a day at one point, which is frightening. When you calculate, it's 30 milligrams of codeine over 500 milligrams of paracetamol, and if you calculate that up and times it by 80, it's frightening. I think it's like 40,000 milligrams of paracetamol, which is the killer. That is the thing that has caused all the damage to me. You'll see that I've got some sort of like skin blemishes. As far as I know, that's all because of my poor liver function. Yeah, which sort of, even though I was damaging myself so much, drinking all that alcohol, taking all those tablets, and I was still functioning every day without a problem. You know, the human body is just an amazing thing. I always suffered with those thoughts that, I don't want to say them because you guys will know what I'm talking about. Those really powerful thoughts that you get, and it's so difficult to actually do that. You can't do it, and you shouldn't do it. There's always reach out if you're feeling like that. I was horrendous. At one point it was every day waking up feeling like that. Yeah, it's really bad. I've got a 19-year-old son. I've got a 11-year-old daughter, and I've got 2 stepchildren. So I look after 4 children in total. Well, four kids, if you like. One's 19 now. He's working. He's sort of looking after himself. The story with my son is, me and his mother separated in 2012. 1st of January 2013 it was. And we'll go into detail with it a bit later on, but I didn't see my son again until May of 2023, so 10 years. I went to, she managed to get a interim residency order, prohibited steps order, and a restraining order, because I was trying to contact her as much as I could to try and see my son. That was actually later on. The original breakup was it just happened overnight. It was just crazy. She had some problems, and I decided to call an end to the relationship. What I didn't realise was she went to the Manchester Family Courts and completely assassinated me as a character. I absolutely knew nothing about it until I was due to pick my son up from school, and I just got a call from the school to say, don't come for him. So 10 years I didn't see him for. And it's destroyed me. I've not been able to sort myself out. I really haven't. It's been really difficult. Work has suffered as a result. You know, I had so much financial pressure. You know, the usual thing: mortgages, responsibilities, bills, cars, phones, you name it, all that stuff. You know, and then overnight my son was taken away, and you know, at first the panic had set in. You know, you've got your son one minute and the next minute you're holding a load of paperwork from a court with stamps on it, and you know, that whole situation got crazy. You know, after about 18 months of not seeing my son, I was completely psychotic. I was in a mess. I was more or less just being chased around by the police who were trying to, you know, because I was threatening certain things, and you know, my nearest and dearest only had one option, which was to ring the police and sort of say to them, you know, he needs help. And you know, it was so scary at that time. You know, just running around, hiding. You know, it was like being on the run. You know, that's the best way I can describe it to you. Every police car that went past, you know, I was just a complete mess. I did end up getting, believe it or not, an order for 3 days per week, Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays, evenings and overnight. That was awarded to me, you know, because the ex-partner, she wanted to come back, and I said, I can't, I'm not letting you back unless I've got 50% custody. So I spent another like £4,000, something like that, in the courts with a solicitor to get the court order for 3 days a week. Invited her back, and then her craziness just continued from the October into the November. That's when I invited her back, and then for the remaining 2 months of the year, you know, she was just horrible. And then I left on the 1st of January 2013, and that was the start of what feels like has been the end of my life. I can't begin to tell you out there, you know, I'm sort of reaching out, and you know, I hope I serve as some sort of hope to people that are going through it now. Or just, you know, when you separate, please, 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 male or female and everything in between, just be amicable. Just be amicable. A mum and a dad is so important in a child's life. You know, so many things can happen to a young child when mum and dad separate, or in the worst case, they haven't got a dad, or they haven't got a mum, or they've lost it through bereavement. You know, that fractures a child's personality, and it doesn't matter what you do from that point, they're gonna be fractured by it. And that can develop into other things like it did with me. My parents separated when I was young, 7 years old, and I can remember it like it was yesterday. And I was so close with my dad, and I still am to this day. And just sort of watching him leave that day just played on my mind as a child. And he got really unwell after that. And my mum, bless her, she never had any money, but we've always had a lot of love. Always had love. She tried her best, really did try her best. But, you know, unfortunately, you know, they were a married couple, and then when they break away, you know, there was 4 kids involved, and we're all affected by it. All of us are. I think, you know, I think I suffer with it sometimes. You know, it's just in the back of your head. For me, what happened to me was I just switched off at school. So I was, as far as I know, I was doing well, and then almost overnight, I just completely switched off. And you know, when you're looking at a teacher and all you can see is it's absolutely nothing's going in. Absolutely nothing. And I spent 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 8 years doing that. And then I came out of school and I came out with 1 GCSE from A to C. 1. So anyway, I managed to get a job through my mum's brother, Gordon. He got me a job at a place called Dowden and Mills as an electrical engineer, a mechanical electrical engineer, sorry, apprenticeship. But essentially the job was just fixing electric motors, small electric motors, the stuff that can be easily be replaced, you know, through cheaper alternatives. And I realised that job wasn't going anywhere pretty quick. And then by the following September, I think it was it? Yeah, I think it was in the September. I started with Toyota as an apprentice on £286 a month. I don't know. God knows how I survived. I mean, it didn't stay like that very long. That was like when I was 16, and then by the time I was 18, I think was when I qualified. 18 or 19. I was earning really good money by that time. Yeah, and like I say to you, I've always been earning but struggling. You know, I bought my first house at 20, I think I was 20. And then pretty much from that day ever since, I've just never had any money at all. Like, just get paid and it goes in one hand and then like out the other, like just as quick as that. Yeah, you know, I've been bailed out many a times in the past. You know, I've got great parents, my mum and my dad. You know, I've ended up in some terrible situations, especially with the stuff when my son was taken away. You know, because we were in and out of court at that time, and you know, I did eventually, in the end, do something that I'll always regret for the rest of my life. But you know, I was desperate to see my son, and she wouldn't let me. And you know, I ended up damaging a car. Really foolishly, and I found myself in Strangeways like overnight. You know, that's what I'm saying to you about those mental health breakdowns. It's not an excuse, it's far from it. It's just I can't really remember you know, how I was actually feeling it. I can remember the incidences, but I can't remember how I was feeling at the time. And I think you just sort of like take that side of it out whilst you're in the moment, and then it comes, you know, sometimes it can come back to people, but for me, how I was feeling has never come back. But all these sort of like incidences have, you know. That was such a horrible time. 2013 through till about 2016, 3 years of my life, I ended up in trouble. Then I ended up in the system, probation, all that sort of rubbish, community service. You know, oh God, it's horrendous. You know, a lot of area on. I'm 39. I've had to go back into the workforce against medical advice, actually. but I just can't survive off the the pay that you get through the government. I just can't. There's just absolutely no chance. I held it together for over 12 months or whatever it was, but that was through help of others more than it was that I was doing, and there's like I say to you, there's so much experience there, things that I've been through, and I just want to talk to people. To feel sometimes on my own, even though I'm not. Like, my partner's absolutely fantastic. She really helps me through my tough times, because they come all, anything with complex post-traumatic stress disorder. I didn't know that was even a thing. Didn't even know that was an illness. And then what was happening was my son's mum would just send me a text with all the usual rubbish on there. You're this, you're that, you're the other. And, I would only read the first couple of lines, and then I'd just give it to my partner to look at and read. But just that little bit is enough to set me off instantly. And then before I know it, I'm tumbling, and then before you know it, I've gone through a bottle of gin, and about 3 packets of painkillers. I'm sat on my own somewhere, hiding, just getting smashed, just to forget about it all. And please don't think it's all poor old me. It really isn't. I know that people out there have been through hell on earth. I've never had to endure, abuse like what is out there. I've never had that in my life. It's our lives as children were just not neglectful. My mum never actively neglected us or anything like that. We just went without a lot. Because she just didn't have the money. She was a cleaner, like a rich woman's house cleaner. My dad was a self-employed joiner, who's got his own problems. One of them being, he doesn't like taking instructions from people. He wants to do his own thing. So money was so tight as kids. I remember my mum buying me a fake pair of Rockport. I don't know if you remember that when you were a kid. You used to have like those things, didn't you? Like a Sprayway jacket and Rockport and stuff like that. And she got me a second-hand Sprayway, I think, if I remember rightly, or I acquired it off somebody in the family. And the Sprayway jackets, those sort of like walking jackets, and the Rockport were fake. They were brown. I think they were a size 7 or something like that, and they just fell apart in weeks. And I was just getting absolutely ripped at school for it. It was horrendous. I don't know how I managed to have a girlfriend during school, because I just used to have the Mickey taken out of me like you wouldn't believe. But I'm talking about everything here, really. I just want to unload. I'm sick of struggling. I really am sick of it. I've gone back to work. They've put me on a wage. You have to work a month in hand, which I really haven't even got that month in hand to just work and not have anything. But I've just got to persevere and do it. I've started this new job, and I've started as a technician, but I just don't feel like it's what I want to do for the future. I want to do other things. They had a position open in another department, so I asked if I could do that instead, and the answer's no, which has been a bit gutting, really. You know, I'm on my way to go and talk to my partner about it now. I've just had to say to them at work I need to have a think about it. And fair play to them, they said, yeah, look, go and talk to your missus, but you know, as of tomorrow when you come back in, this is what we need you to do, which is fair enough. That's what they've employed me to do. And they don't know anything about me, you know. Like I say, I'm putting myself out there now. I've said to people like Bert Struggles, Kirky Talks, I'm trying to think of the other ones now. There's a few other channels out there. Might not be able to do it in this video because I've got absolutely no idea how YouTube works. I'm just literally doing this video and then I'm gonna post it. I don't even know how to do a thumbnail. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's comical, really. Why am I doing this? I don't even know. I don't know. But I've been speaking to Bert, and what a great guy he is. He's a lovely guy, going through a lot of shit himself. Yeah, it's just, we're struggling, and there's so many like us. I'm not on my own, and there's people worse off, and I know that. And sometimes, you know, you have to give that little give yourself a bit of a wake-up call, because you know, people are struggling, and it's so far wide and spread, and unfortunately, you know, we don't get much help either. You know, we are sort of left to our own devices, and I suppose, why should we get help? Who are we, really? I sort of understand that. You know, I like to think I'm kind. I have a heart. You know, I want to talk to people. I want to look after people. I want to share my experiences with people. You know, there's a big world out there, and I'm sick of waking up and worrying about doing a 9-to-5 job. You know, I want to make a difference. I want to get up and be able to just want to go to work and enjoy myself at work. You know, I've no idea what the future holds for me at the moment. I really don't. You know, if any of you guys out there are struggling or hitting upon tough times, difficult times, please reach out. You know, use the comments, and you know, I'll send you my email address, whatever. You know, just get in touch and we'll talk. You know, don't be on your own with it. Whatever it is, partner separation, difficulty with bringing up your kids, you know, adversity at work. I have sort of touched on most subjects in my life, and I've got experience at it, and I know what I would do again and what I wouldn't. And if people are finding themselves in those situations, just reach out and, like I say to you, you know, and talk a little bit about work. You know, towards the end of my time at Aldi, you know, I was not in a good way at all. You know, a lot of these things going on in that place that were crazy. But you know, in the end, the business couldn't make the adaptions, if you like, or the, I don't know what the wording is that they use, adjustments, I think that's it. They weren't prepared to make the adjustments to sort of accommodate me, you know, because I've been through this health issue, and there was things that I could do and I couldn't do anymore, and I had to explain that to them. Well, one of them as well was, you know, I needed to pick my children up from school, you know, and they finished school at 3:25, so I had to start picking her up at 3:25. And when I informed them of that, I could just see almost immediately they didn't want me there after that point. And that sort of lasted about 6 months, something like that. And then they just called me in and said, we're looking to terminate your contract of employment. There was some absences as well. It's not, I guess it's not all their fault. You know, there was things that if I could go back, I would undo them. And if any of you guys who know me see this out there, I hope you know that about me. You know, I would undo some of the things that I did, you know, but ultimately it ended up in me losing my job. And, you know, and then I found myself at the mercy of the government, and that hasn't been pleasant at all. It's been really difficult, week in, week out, trying to survive. You know, I've gone back to work thinking, like, what's the worst that can happen? But, you know, I've come back to sort of being on the tools again, and I just don't want it. You know, I want to sort of move into different departments and do different things, but unfortunately when you're a technician, and if you're any good, and I'll always let my work do me talking for me, I'm not going to say whether I'm good or not. You know, if you're any good, they tend to keep you in that place because you're earning them good money every day in that little spot all day, every day. Keep at it. But then, you know, there's other things that I would like to go into. You know, I'd like to maybe deal with customers, or, you know, just looking at the different side of the business. And it's like anything, you know, at the start I can work at it, but I don't know. They know my thoughts. They've said to me it's fine to go and have 24 hours to go and think about it, which is what I'm going to do. Maybe give me your thoughts. What do you guys think? You know, it's a really good company that I'm working for. There's no two ways about that. They're a good company. I think deep down it's probably going to be foolish to walk away and try and find something in that role, because I'm not experienced in that role. So the people are going to be taking a punt at me, and they've brought me in as a technician, so I guess that's what I've got to do. But hey, there we are. You know, getting on for 35 minutes. This is my first video. I never thought I would do this. I have made other ones and I've not put them out. I'm gonna start writing down some subjects that I want to talk about, maybe put some research into them. If you guys have any ideas, then let me know. Yeah, you know, I love you all. Just, you know, if you're struggling, reach out. Don't do anything that you're gonna live to regret. You know, we can all act stupid in the moment, we really can. You know, and I see that a lot with my son. He is suffering with mental issues, things that we're on a referral for to try and help him. But he's so angry about what happened to him as a child, so angry. You know, and he's got more than enough reason to be like that. It's just that now we're trying to remap his brain a bit and try and help him work on those things. And you know, he's got a great future if he keeps his head down, keeps working. He's got a great future, really great future. He's not going to be struggling for money like I was, put it that way, and still am to this day. But the struggle's real, innit, people? Reach out. I think my email address is down below. This is going to take a bit of time for me to get used to doing thumbnails and things like that, but I'm going to start trying to post once a day, which is a big thing, really, isn't it? I've never done it before, and then I'm doing it once a day. If not once a day, maybe once every other day. We'll see. Yeah. If it's not reaching anybody and nobody's interested, then what chance have I got, really? None. So, right. Much love. Take care.